Hello guys, welcome back to another video and to my channel. So glad to have you here, and today I'm going to make a matcha first. So I'm going to talk you through that. I get asked a lot about this on Instagram, so I thought I would film it on here as well. Because I thought I'm going to make a matcha and sit down and chat through where I'm at with my goals and stuff, and just kind of some videos that you can expect coming up from me as I take you along on this journey. But I thought, you know what, I will, I got distracted there by a notification. I thought someone was at the door. It was the ring going off. I thought I would take you through how I make my matcha. So I'm just gonna tip you down. This is all the things. So I don't have any fancy matcha things. I literally use a jug, and then I've just got this little sieve thing. Yeah, it is a sieve. That gets all the lumps out. This is the matcha I use. I'll link it below. I literally get it from Amazon. I don't work with them or anything like that. Like, I buy this with my own money. It doesn't have to be this brand, but just a premium grade one is what you want. And then again, I get this from Amazon. I'll link it below. It's just a vanilla stevia. I just put a couple of drops of that in. I also got my ring back, guys. It's been resized, so I don't have the ugly little thing behind it, and it's been engraved. I'm so happy to have it back, and just the fact that it fits and feels really secure on my finger. But yeah, I just caught it there as I was showing you. Yeah, so that's the sweetener that I use, and then I also just put a bit of honey in. And then my cup, I do use a very large cup, and then I have a little whiskey thing. I do have like one of the proper like matcha whisks. But one of my clients actually told us to use this, like get one of these, and I was like, oh, and it actually is a little bit easier, because I found that I'm gonna get it out the drawer actually, because I feel like it's hard to explain like one of these you can use. So I got it in the set with the sieve, again just from Amazon, but I've had a couple because these little spokey things come off it. But you can use that and whisk it, but I just find this, if you've got one of these, again, good old Amazon, just to use that. So gonna go and get some ice, which is in my utility room, so I'll take you guys through. So because I use such a big cup, I don't know, in my head I just think I'm having a massive matcha, but it's probably just the same. I literally put some ice in, and then they're very noisy. One bit tried to escape there. Oh, so that's quite full, to be fair. And then I'm just going to change that to water, and then just put a bit of, sorry, the lighting is terrible. So I just put, that's probably a bit too much water, so I'm going to drink that out. A bit of water, and then I get my milk. Tell you what, bring you back over here. I'm going to go and grab the milk out of the fridge. That was one thing that I forgot to get. There's no aesthetic videos in here, guys. I'm shocking. So I use pea milk just because I've mentioned in other videos, cows, milk and me don't get along, so I limit it. I do still have it, but I don't have it very often, so I use this pea milk. I feel like this is, I use almond in my coffee, but I don't mind it, but I don't really like almond milk in the matcha. So the pea milk kind of tastes a bit similar to like semi-skimmed, which is what I would use. So then I put the milk in to leave a bit of space at the top for the matcha, and then I'll put a couple of drops of the vanilla in the milk there. Just get that mix. So you want the kettle, so I boiled it about 15 minutes ago. You want the kettle hot, but not boiling hot. Not the end of the world. I just read somewhere that it can make the taste a bit more bitter. I'm just getting a spoon. Got the spoon. Thought I was all prepared getting everything out, but I forgot the milk and the spoon. Never mind. And then you want, probably don't need this much, but here we are. And then you just kind of want to, I'll show you. Like, put it into the sieve, so the sieve over the jug obviously, and then just like push it in, just that gets rid of all the lumps. Like, one thing when I first started making matcha at home, I could not bear the lumps, and I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. So that helps with that. And then you just want to pour in your hot water, your warm water. And then actually I put the honey in here so that the honey kind of like melts into the hot water for the flavour. And then use a little whisk. Whisky, whisk, whisk. Mix it all in. And then this should make it nice and smooth. And then just pour it. And this is the bit where it looks, oh man, drop that. Looks really good. Oh, I find that so satisfying. And there we have it, guys. Chef's kiss. Right, we'll go and sit down and let's have a catch up and a chat. Just want to set the camera. Look at Wesley. He just loves to sit and watch the world go by, but oh, he just looks so sweet. Hello, my gorgeous boy. Oh, hello. Oh, I just love him. Right, guys, I'm just sat in the office. Oh. Divine. A little new. This is my new bandeau top from Women's Best, and then these are actually new jeans from Fit Jeans. This new colour, I'm really loving these, ready for the autumn, and I'm very much ready for the burn months coming in. But anyway, so I was just about to sit down and do the video after my matcha there, and my food shop arrived earlier than what I thought, but anyway, that's all done, so I feel a bit flustered now. But as I said, with regards to like my current goals at the minute, and then kind of like some videos you can expect from me going forward due to that. So I just did, well, I finished quite a while ago now, but I did a short fat loss phase, and then I was sat at maintenance, and so that was like post Italy. Did a little fat loss phase for like 8 weeks, and then went just straight back up to maintenance. And at the minute, basically what I need to, or what I am already focusing on now, is fixing a muscle imbalance in my glutes. So most people will have a side that's like stronger than the other, and this is why like single leg on single side exercises are really important to help like prevent that. And you always want to start with your weak side if you notice that. And if you've never noticed that before, like see if you can. Not everybody has it, but the majority of people do. Like I've found that with training clients, like online in the gym, people often start to notice it. So always start with your weaker side, and that can help it catch up a little bit. And this is something that I've been doing for a long time, but I really noticed when taking progress pictures from my fat loss phase that there was quite a visible difference in my glutes. So I really want to fix that, and I think this is kind of part and parcel with what happened last year. I was basically, I'd entered in to do the Great North Run, which is a half marathon, and I'd done it like 10 years before, and I thought, right, 10 years on, I've been running some more, like me and Aaron were going to do it together. He's never done a half marathon, and it's such a good day, so I was like, let's do it together. And we started training, and I started getting pain in my ankle. So I went to see a physio. Now it wasn't like pain at the time, it was always after. And the physio basically said that I was like rolling my ankle, which I think I've spoken about in previous videos, but he said the way I was landing, it was like I was rolling. So anyway, long story short, I think those two things are linked, and this is one thing with muscle imbalances, like there is a visible difference, yes, and I will pop a picture on the screen here so you can see kind of the visible difference. It might not be that kind of striking to other people potentially, but obviously, you know, want to fix that so it looks a bit more symmetrical, and not everyone will be fully symmetrical, but obviously want to try to be. But aesthetics aside, having muscle imbalances wherever they are can lead to injuries, because you're going to have a side that's like overcompensating, and then if you get injuries, another side's going to overcompensate even more, whether that be your weaker side or your stronger side, if you've got an ongoing kind of injury. So don't get us wrong, my ankle's been fine and running short distances is completely fine. However, I don't want this to spiral into something where it could start causing injuries. But like I say, you know, I do a lot of like single leg movements. I always start with my right side, which is my weaker side, but I think it's more of like a mechanical thing that's actually causing the issue. So I've already started correcting that. I think part of it's to do with my hip mobility. I have really tight hips. I'm very quad dominant, which is often a sign of tight hips. I feel things better in my glutes now. So that is a, you know, a good sign, and you know, something I've been working on for a while because I've always been very quad dominant, but I'm hoping that being consistent with some hip mobility stuff is going to really help with that. And for about the last kind of 18 months I've been working on my deep core pelvic floor, and doing a lot more pelvic floor stuff. I've never had kids or anything like that, but it's still really important to do. So that's kind of taken a even kind of more of a forefront focus of doing like deep core, pelvic floor and hip mobility. I have 2 dedicated days to them now. Something I really want to work on is strengthening my lower back. Again, nothing like major, but I just want to like correct my posture, make sure my posture is all right, basically help support my full posterior chain and your core and your back are antagonist muscles, so they work together. So it's really important to basically that they support each other and strengthen them both. So yeah, and then working on my hips and my hip mobility on the days where I'm not lifting as well as the days that I'm lifting. So obviously doing a full warm up. Now I am pretty good with warming up and cooling down, but there is days where I'm just like, oh no, off we go, or like quickly let's get into it. But like I say, it is actually really important to do. I always like do at least a couple of warm up like active stretches, but I'm kind of like doubling, or I've already started, I should say, doubling down on that and making sure that I get like a proper warm up in to really loosen off my hips, and focusing on, obviously, like I say, like my oh my god, I can't speak, balancing out my glutes. So I'm definitely going to start filming some workouts. I've just joined a new gym that I went to this morning to just kind of get a gist of it and stuff like that, and they're happy with me filming in there, which is always good. I always like to check because the gym that I've been at isn't that keen in it, so I can't get very good angles. Like, they're not keen, they just don't like you doing it. So I don't want to like upload something for them to then make us take it down and just cause a lot of ag. I don't want to upset anyone. So anyway, long story short, joined a new gym, so I'm gonna film some of my workouts in there and then talk you through them, and go through them in a bit of detail, go through some full day of eating as well. We'll still be like obviously talking through like the different cycle phases and why I'm having certain foods, but I'm also now going into, or I'm already in, a small surplus, so I'll be monitoring that and seeing how I go. I've never kind of, or I'd never thought that I would go into an intentional surplus again, not for any kind of big reason. I've probably been in one, well, likely I have. I know in Italy I definitely was, like when I've kind of just been not tracking and things like that. I've definitely been like around maintenance, like small surplus, which is what I'm doing now. But I just never thought I would do it intentionally again. I've kind of just like, I'd moved away from, not like fully moved away. I think having an aesthetic goal, like I've spoken about, is fine, but I was just kind of happy with like the muscles that the muscle that I had already built and sort of maintaining that. However, being in a small surplus is important for building muscle. It's going to help you get there a lot quicker. So I'm not bothered by it at all. I just never thought that I would really do it again, because I was kind of just like, oh, like I felt like I was done with that era. But obviously, like I say, it's not necessarily just an aesthetic reason now. Oh, that makes sense. I feel like it was a bit waffly, but yeah, so in a small surplus, so we'll be eating just above my maintenance calories, which is fantastic because as you guys probably know, I'm a very big foodie, so we'll be just already enjoying all of the food, so I'm very, very excited to see what I can do from here, and see what I can build. So I've obviously already shown you kind of like my, so I've shown you on the last 4 then, I'll pop them in here now to be fair, my like starting point when I kind of first noticed it, or when I came up to maintenance, and then kind of where I'm at like 5-6 weeks in now. Kind of the first few weeks I was just sort of like at maintenance, wasn't really sure, and then I was like, right, I'm gonna actually commit to this and like go into a surplus. So yeah, this is currently where I'm at. So my training's not actually going to change that drastically in terms of like the split that I'm doing. So I have 3 full body days a week. I tend to do them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they're just full body strength, and I'll be training with Aaron. So I've made mine a bit more lower focused and made his a bit more like upper arm focused. And then the other 2 days, so Tuesday, Thursday, that's when I'll be doing hip mobility, deep core, and like pelvic floor stuff, and then just some steady state cardio, either incline treadmill walk or the Stairmaster, nothing too major. And then my weekend, I just like to rest, and we usually go for like longer walks with Wesley and stuff like that. And at the minute we're renovating our house and we're doing it room by room, so we've got Artex ceilings, which you might have noticed in the videos potentially. I don't know, I feel like I notice it so much because I don't like it. So we're doing it ourselves and doing it room by room, which is quite the task. So we started that last weekend in the spare room, just to kind of see how it went in case it was absolutely dreadful, but it's actually okay. So getting lots of upper body movement in there, so that's kind of how I'll be spending my weekends, more like active rest days, and keeping my workouts throughout the week, which I've always like quite enjoyed doing, like just having a bit more of a chill on a weekend and a full rest, because rest is obviously very important for actually building muscle. This is when your muscles repair and grow, and especially with eating enough food, eating enough protein, so that those your muscles can repair and grow. All of the things combined are very, very important. So we'll be making sure I get enough rest and keeping on top of my sleep. Just be nice to have like this as a nice little focus and goal to work towards. I don't really have an end date in mind. I do get married in early 2027, so I really want to put the groundwork in now to build that muscle, and then we'll kind of see where I'm at. I don't really have like a plan. I don't have a dress yet or anything like that, so I don't really know kind of what my goals are, but obviously I want to look and feel good for my wedding day, and my hen do as well. I think we have my hen party or bachelorette party end of next summer hopefully, so like just over, well, yeah, about a year's time. I'm hoping like next August, because one of my friends is a teacher, so I want to make sure that she's there. So it will have to be around this time next year. So I've got like a year. So I want to spend a good chunk of time building so I can really build. And then, yeah, maybe do like, well, maybe probably will do a short fat loss phase, because being in a surplus, yes, you will build muscle. There will also be some fat gain, so we'll do like a small cut to drop body fat and maintain the muscle build is the plan. So just kind of giving you like an overview of kind of what my vague plan is in my mind, but I don't really have an end date as such with this, but as I said, I'm going to take you guys along with us on this. I'm actually really excited about it. Like I say, I never really thought I'd do like a surplus and a build again, but I'm excited. Like it's always like the start of like, well, I'm saying the start, I'm like a couple of weeks into this surplus already now, but like I say, just kind of like the start where it's like, ooh, what's to come, and how like the changes you're gonna see, and like the workouts and the progressions that you're gonna make. I really get a buzz off that. So I'm really excited to have this as a focus. And like I say, thinking like a bit more long term for my wedding, I want to look and feel my best, and that is not spending a silly amount of time in a deficit or fat loss. Like I want to be doing that for the shortest amount of time possible, but building, you want to really commit to that. So when I've done previous like surpluses and like bulks or builds, I've spent like 4 to 6 months at the minimum in them, and then done like a short fat loss phase after. So yeah, I've just kind of been like doing like kind of between maintenance and fat loss for the last like, I'd say a year and a half maybe, mostly at maintenance, and like taking time off tracking and things like that, which again I think is also really important. So I am tracking at the minute, and there will be like certain meals and days where I'm not going to track, so it'll be like a little bit more intuitive eating. Obviously I've got a bit more flexibility in a surplus, but I just mainly want to see that I'm hitting my protein, I'm getting enough carbs, and obviously the minimum amount of fat's really important for hormone production and nutrient absorption. And then also just like my fiber goal, making sure that I'm keeping on top of my gut health and feeling good. Again, when I first ever did like a bulk, which was years ago now, I was just like using it as an excuse to just like kind of, it was a bit of a free for all, and I didn't feel good from it. and I probably gained more fat than what I would have done if I'd actually stuck to more of like an 80-20 balance of like 80% whole foods and 20% soul foods. And I definitely think my nutrition is in a much better place now than what it was obviously back then. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I can achieve this time, and just want to make sure that I'm feeling good along the way, because I know with builds from past experience you can feel a bit uncomfortable, you start to get that fluffy feeling, but I'm gonna embrace it all and enjoy all of the foods. I'm very excited, and I've also bitten the bullet and finally ordered an Aura ring. I've been thinking about it for months and months and months, and I was like, right, okay, I'm just gonna do it. So I'm wearing Aaron's Apple Watch at the minute because he wasn't wearing it. I'm not a fan, I have to say. I mean, I'm not a fan of fitness watches anyway. So I had a Garmin before this, which I did like, but it always would give me like a rash, like eczema on my wrist, and matter like how much I cleaned it and all of that stuff, it never agreed with my skin. I had 2 Fitbits before that, like years ago. They were exactly the same. Really bad, like would make my eczema flare up, even like having breaks from it. Like when I first got my Fitbit years ago, I would wear it like all of the time. So I thought that was why it was happening. I was like, you know, I'm not really like having a proper break. Like I would use it to track my sleep and stuff, and all that, which obviously is part of the reason why you have them. But then when I've been wearing the Garmin in the past, I would just make sure I was hitting my steps and stuff. So having a bit of a break from it, it was a bit better. Then my Garmin broke. I just wasn't really wearing one. I wasn't that bothered. Like I say, I find them so ugly. Like you can't convince me, even if you put a strap on it, they're just not pretty. Like they're not. But like I say, that's just my opinion. I'm just like, I'd rather wear a pretty watch than this. But so I've just never really bothered getting anything with this. I literally wear it to make sure I'm getting like enough steps, especially going from being a gym floor PT to fully online. My activity changed quite a bit, so I wanted to just make sure that I was getting my steps in, so that's why I started wearing it. But I am intrigued to see what my recovery would be like, what my sleep would be like, and like I say, just make sure I'm covering all bases. I love like having the full picture and the data, not from an obsessive point of view. Like in the past I'd literally like be like so like meticulous about it, I suppose, whereas now, especially as a coach, like I feel like seeing the full picture. I really like having like as much data as possible to like assess things, and particularly now being more in tune with my cycle and all that stuff. I'm intrigued to see like how that changes throughout the month, like monitoring, like I say, my recovery, my sleep and stuff, because in the luteal phase, before your period comes, your sleep can be really interrupted, and I actually notice this. So it will be interesting to see what the data says. And I am using natural cycles and take my temperature and stuff, and the Aura links to that. So I was really like, oh, I'm just gonna do it, and I'm really excited to kind of, like I say, I love to see the data, and so each week I'm gonna do it. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry about that, guys. I actually just had a delivery for my event in London. That was my watch on the chair there, by the way. It sounded like I farted. Yeah, my event in London. I've just had loads of stuff delivered for that, which is very exciting. I will actually pop the link. I don't know if I've posted about it on here, but I'll pop the link below if anyone would like to come. Saturday the 30th of September, a nice little wellness event. If you click on the link, it'll give you loads of information on that. But yes, as I was saying, I'm excited to see the data, like check in with myself, like my clients check in each week. I'm gonna check in with myself, like review that all and kind of assess, adjust if needed, to keep moving forward. So yeah, I'm very excited to see where this takes us, like a nice little new focus that I kind of didn't expect. Like I say, I was just taking progress photos for my fat loss and really noticed it, and I was like, right, I think it's time to end this now. Like I wasn't trying to lose like a silly amount of body fat or anything like that. Just wanted to tighten up a little bit, but yeah, this is like a nice little new focus, as I say. So I'm excited to take you guys along with us. keep you posted on all of the different things that I'm doing, like training wise, food wise, like I say, and even can do like a bit more of a chatty video like this, talking about like recovery, sleep and things like that, and can show you guys like the progress and stuff. I'm gonna take like photos and things. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I feel like it's been a bit of like, I feel like my videos always are just like a bit waffly, like just come and sit and have a cuppa and a chat. But yeah, like I say, if you've got any questions on anything like even to do with your goals, please feel free to pop them below. I always try and get back to everybody's comments and things like that, and also will help me to kind of know what to incorporate like going forward in future videos. But as I've kind of touched upon, you know, if you're wanting to build muscle, the surplus is so important, and I know that it can feel really scary. Again, like I have this with my clients, like it can feel really daunting. I've also been in that position myself where I've increased my calories and it feels quite scary to go against, like, you know, diet culture, like especially the era that I grew up in, and even just like a lot on social media at the minute, this whole like skinny talk thing, and you know, everybody taking the weight loss injections, like, and again, it's not anything against them, but there's a lot of people taking them that don't need to be, and it's just a bit too like readily available, and it's kind of becoming a bit like the 90s, like heroin chic, which yeah, it's a lot. So I always just want to highlight to focus on what's best for you and your goals and your health and your wellness, and remember that your cycle is a vital sign and an indicator of your health. Like, you know, losing weight to the extremities of losing your periods or having irregular periods is not healthy, and it's your body trying to tell you something. So I always just want to highlight that and remind you guys that, you know, regardless of your goals, it's fine to have aesthetic goals, but doing it in a healthy way, and that you are so much more than a number, and there is a much bigger picture to look at. So I hope regardless of your goal, like that you can see on these future videos that there's lots of things to look at other than the scale number. I have no doubt that the scale number is going to go up for me, but I want it to because I'm building muscle, and obviously the scale number going up isn't gonna just be muscle, it's gonna be body fat, it's gonna be water, it's gonna be food, it's gonna be lots of different things, and it's really important to keep that in mind, that the scales measure so many different things. And this is why it's really important to look at everything, and like I mentioned there, having all of the data to remind yourself and to see, sorry, like, okay, like maybe the scales are up because I'm in the luteal phase, I'm due on my period, so I'm holding on to more water, or whatever it might be. Looking at lots of different things, or I didn't sleep that well last night, and that can sometimes make cause you to feel more stressed and maybe feel more inflamed and cause the scales to increase. So as I say, lots of different things. I just wanted to chuck that in there as always. But yeah, any questions, pop them below. I'm going to stop waffling on now, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this. As I said before, I love doing these chatty style videos, and I hope they're not too boring. I thought I'd just show you my little matcha at the start there. If you've got any questions on that or anything, or your current goals, please let me know. But I hope you've enjoyed this, guys, and I really hope to see you on the next one.